Today is the career day, and I have a wonderful speaker today that I would like to introduce, Mr. Mack McGee, and he's here to share some information with you regarding college and talk to you about, some of the choices that you will possibly make for your career. So I'm going to invite him down. Mr. McGee, you guys give him a hand as he comes down. Thank you.
Woo! Yeah.
All right. I'd rather see a sermon than to hear one any day. I'd rather one should walk with me than just to show the way.
Yeah.
The eye is a better pupil and more willing than the ear. Advice may be misleading, but example is always clear.
Clear.
And the very best of teachers are the ones who live their creed. For to see good put into action is what everybody needs. I can soon learn how to do it if you let me see it done. I can watch your hand in motion, but your tongue too fast may run. And the lectures you deliver may be very fine and true, but I'd rather give my lessons by observing what you do. For I may misunderstand you in the fine advice you give, but there's no misunderstanding how you act and how you live your creed. Good morning. Good morning, Rich Central. Good morning, Rich Central.
Good morning.
Look, you know what? I have the opportunity, and it's a pleasure to have the opportunity to go all throughout the state, all throughout the country, talking to high school students about their future, talking to high school students about having the opportunity to go to college, talking to high school students about pursuing their dreams. And one thing that I realized, how many of you all want to be successful? Raise your hand. How many of you want to be successful? Every hand should go up in this room. One of the things that I realized if I had the opportunity to go throughout the state and throughout this country is that successful people are willing to get up, get out, and go get it. Why don't you repeat after me? Get up, get out, and go get it. See, a lot of times people are not really serious about success. Sometimes people have things right in front of their face, something that they want so bad, but they won't be willing to get up, get out, and go get it.
And go get it. See, right, we ain't doing it. You gotta go get it.
That's why you get caught.
Yes.
See, Lamont, they don't understand. They got to be willing to get up, get out, and go get it. They got to be willing to concentrate. They got to be willing to
Get some. Guys, stop talking.
They got to be willing to focus. See, a lot of success and a lot of goals are never reached because of broken focus. If you would just stay focused long enough, you would be able to achieve and reach your goal. You see, jumping up and going after that cash, that's the type of excitement that we need to bring to the classroom each and every day. See, you have an opportunity here to be whatever it is that you want to be. You guys are Olympians, right? You have opportunity here to be whatever it is that you want to be in life. But you got to have that same tenacity, that same drive. Just like that young lady jumped up and came down there and got that $5 bill, you got to be willing to get up, get out, and go get it.
Yeah, girl, you got it, girl. You got it. Not gonna get it.
How many of you, by a show of hands, realize you have one life to live?
I got 9.
Yes, indeed. You have one life to live. And as I go throughout the country speaking, talking to people, I said that's one thing of all the billions of people on the face of this earth, there's one thing that we have in common. One time here on this earth. And so we need to embrace that opportunity. We need to take advantage of that opportunity. We need to maximize that opportunity. I want to talk to you about 4 people that I tend to come across in life. The first person is the person that I call the player. You know why I call him the player? Not because of what you thinking. I call him the player because the player is the individual that's in the game. The player is the person that was willing to show up. How many of you know that 80% of success in life is the show up test? If you just show up, 80% of the time you will have success. 90% of the time is being willing to show up and show up on time. 95% of success is being willing to show up on time, and have a plan. And 100% of success is being willing to show up on time, have a plan, and then execute your plan. How many of you plan on graduating from this school? How many of you plan on going to college? See, you just got to show up. Show up on time for class. Get your homework done. Come to that class prepared. Whatever activities beyond academics you're involved in, proper preparation prevents poor performance. How many of you understand that? I have one of my friends here. We go across the country. We've spoken in Las Vegas. We've spoken in LA. We've spoken in Sacramento, San Francisco, in New York. We'll be speaking in Detroit, Michigan in a few weeks. I'm going to have Lamont Brown, the greatest motivational speaker, come up and share a few words. Give him a round of applause.
Yes, sir. Give it up for Mack McGee, who's doing a fantabulous job. Yeah, I made that. You mentioned that we've been able to speak across the country, but I want to share with you what you need to be doing right now. See, Oliver Wendell Holmes said once your mind has been expanded with an idea or concept, it won't be satisfied to going back the way it was. See, right now, the people that's talking need to shut up. You need to shut up so that you can hear something that may expand your mind. And I'm coming to you like this because you need to be spoken to real. And all the men who just smack their lips, that's some homo stuff. We're here to help you to take your life to the next level. We're not talking about something that we haven't done. We're talking about things that we have applied to our own lives, where we've been able to go from being a major victim of violence to being a guy who was selling drugs on the streets, who was arrested over 20 times, who witnessed his mother smoke drugs, biological father in and out of jail, stepfather left. See, we could have had a whole lot of excuses, but we realized that excuses are tools for incompetent fools that builds monuments of nothingness. And those who use excuses are seldom good for anything but excuses. They say that people come across major opportunities twice in their lifetime. Just most people don't know if it's their first or it's their last. When I first came in here, I sat next to a gentleman who wasn't even paying attention to anything that Mr. Mack McGee has said. You're talking about someone who has a couple of degrees. You're talking about someone who has something to offer to this community. This is the community that we came from. We both have written books. When people told me not to write a book, they said, Lamont, what you writing a book for? Nobody knows your name. Don't nobody know who you are. And I almost listened to them. Just like when I was a senior in high school, when I used to draw and I drew a gym shoe, and I started showing my friends different things about the gym shoe, they said, man, come on, man, you crazy, man. Everybody gonna wear that gym shoe. That gym shoe look crazy. Who gonna wear a gym shoe that got a zipper on it? A couple years later, 3 years to be exact, Dennis Rodman came out with a gym shoe. It had a zipper on it, sold millions of those pairs. See, you got some dream stealers out here. Your dreams should be big enough where people say, girl, you crazy. Now when Trump said that since we're going to be thinking anyway, we might as well think big. If you share your dream with somebody, they need to respond like, girl, you crazy, you ain't going to be able to do that. I wrote that book anyway. And in 8 months, that book sold over 1,600 copies. Because I wasn't listening to those people who was hating on me. I used that as motivation. See, when we talk about, oh yeah, you can get a good education. How many of you want to graduate? Don't just do that out of repetition. Just because. Graduate with honors. Harriet Tubman freed over 300 slaves. She got many pats on her back, many accolades. But you know what her response was? She said, I could have freed thousands more if only they knew they were slaves. I'll let that soak in for another 3 seconds. She said, I could have freed thousands more if only they knew they were slaves. They were in a condition for so long, they forgot they were slaves. They forgot who they were. In these day and times, we're not bound by shackles, but we're in psychological slavery. And you have been in a condition so long that you really forgot who you are. You kings and queens. Don't address one another no less than that. What up, King? What's up? Hey, Queen, how you doing? Hey, Queen, how you doing? My sister, I got about another 2 minutes with you. I want you to pay attention to this. My sister, Clarissa Charles, who was in the top 10 of her class when she was in high school, she got pregnant in high school. Unfortunately, she dropped out of school. She achieved her GED. But when she was on that abortion table, she jumped off. She decided not to have that baby aborted. My nephew, who went to school, I know you probably, hate on him because he went to Homewood Flossmoor. But here's the point. He went on and got a full scholarship at Bowling Green State University. This past year, he caught 155 passes that topped the NCAA record for the most receptions as a receiver. He was in the top 4 categories as a receiver out of 5. Number 1 reception yard, number 1 this, number 1 that. He's entering the NFL draft next month. Yeah, that deserves a hand clap. Bowling Green State University. Freddie Barnes. I'm sharing that with you because whatever mistakes that you may have made as a teenager in high school, it's okay. You can make it through without taking yourself out or without taking that baby out. You can make it. You can make it. Whatever the circumstance is, it doesn't matter. You have to expand your mind. You have to change your mindset. Albert Einstein said that the thinking that has brought me this far has created some problems that this thinking cannot solve. If a genius got to a point in his life where he said, I have to change my way of thinking, we can do the same thing. Les Brown said, you have to be willing to do the things today others won't do in order to have the things tomorrow others won't have. Outside of that book, I went on to open up 2 barbershops and beauty salons. I went on to be a radio host on 3 different radio stations. In addition to that, I had my own television show called Pursuing a Dream. And I'm not saying that to impress you, but impress upon you. And it's not a cliche, but you can have whatever you want. You can have whatever you believe. And if you don't believe in yourself, believe in the belief that others have in you until your belief kick in. But a mind is a terrible thing to waste. Give him a round of applause. Give him a round of applause.
How many of you realize and recognize that the mind is a terrible thing to waste? Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. When I was growing up, me and Lamont and some of these teachers in here, there was a show on Saturday called Soul Train. Does that still come on? No. And Soul Train was sponsored by the United Negro College Fund. And that commercial, during commercial break, the mantra at the end of the commercial would say that the mind is a terrible thing to waste. Also, during that period of time, there was a drug czar by the name of William Bennett. William Bennett had a commercial where he had a gentleman standing over a frying pan with 2 eggs. And he would crack that yolk and it would let the yolk fall into the frying pan and he would say, this is your mind on drugs. But as I go throughout the country talking to young and old, sometimes I have a hard time convincing them that the mind is indeed a terrible thing to waste. You see, the mind is more powerful than any Xbox 360. The mind is more powerful than any computer, than any spaceship, than any satellite. You know why? Because the mind created that. But I want to share with you a technical definition of what the mind is. How many of you want to know what the mind is? The mind is an electrical chemical reduction plant that integrates segregated states of special energy abstract like storage batteries. The mind has over 62,000 miles of capillaries, which is its own extraordinary complex mechanism. It's guided with exquisite precision. It has a telescopic and microscopic rangefinder. It has a spectroscope with its own main fuel energy intake and exhaust system. Let me suggest to you, I say it again, the mind is an electrical chemical reduction plant that integrates segregated states of special energy abstract like storage batteries. The mind has over 62,000 miles of capillaries, which is its own extraordinary complex mechanism. It's guided with exquisite precision. It has a telescopic and microscopic rangefinder. It has a spectroscope with its own main fuel energy intake and exhaust system. May I suggest to you, students of Rich Central High School, that the mind is a terrible thing to waste. You have to use your mind. You have to dream big, and you never let anybody step on your dreams. Whatever it is that you want to pursue, you got to be willing to get up, get out, and go get it. It's not going to be easy. How many of you struggle sometimes? How many of you sometimes want to just throw in the towel? How many of you have frustrations with math and science and all of these things? You see, I graduated at the bottom of my high school class. People didn't even think that I was going to go to college, but I had the opportunity to go to college and play football. But it was around that time when I was in college that I decided that I wanted to do something positive with my life. I decided that I didn't only just want to go to college and play football, that I actually wanted to graduate. See, that should be the first goal. That should be the priority goal, to graduate. You see, no one in my family prior to my generation had graduated. My father doesn't even have a GED or high school diploma. I think he's one of the smartest men I ever known, but during his coming up, he grew up in the South. He had to pick cotton. He dropped out after 8th grade so that he could go work in the cotton field. And so he had a dream for me and my sisters that we would go to college. And between me and my 3 sisters, we have 8 college degrees. See, no one can tell you you can't do something. I don't care about racism. I don't care about sexism. I don't care about any of the isms that's out there, because if you ask me, America is the greatest place on earth. You can be whatever you want to be. Ask Jay-Z. You can be whatever you want to be. Ask Sean P. Diddy Combs. Any of those people that you admire and that you look at, they went after their dreams with reckless abandon. It's not going to be easy. And I'm going to leave you guys with this. Get up. Repeat after me. Get up. Get out. And go get it. Like, let me just leave you with this. When you want a thing bad enough, you have to go out and fight for it. Work day and night for it. Give up your time, your peace, and your sleep for it. When all that you dream and scheme is about it, and life seems useless and worthless without it. But if you simply sweat for it, fret for it, and plan for it, and lose all your terror of the opposition for it, and if you simply go after that thing that you want, with all of your capacity, strength and sagacity, faith, hope, and confidence, and stern pertinacity, if neither famine, cold, nor poverty, nor gulf, no sickness and pain to body or brain can keep you away from the thing that you want, if dogged and grim you besiege and beset it, with the help of God, Rich Central students, you will get it. My name is Mack McGee, Lorraine McGee's baby boy, also known as the Mack of Motivation, telling you continue to pursue your dreams.
Any questions?
You got a question? Stand up. What's your question, ma'am? Excellent question. Me and Lamont, we met each other about 5 years ago. We're also Toastmasters. Toastmasters is a speaking organization, and actually we met in the international speech competition about 5 years ago. We competed against one another, And from that, we developed a friendship. And so in that time, we've put on shows, and every time I have the opportunity to come to a high school or grade school or college, I always call Lamont up. He does the same for me, and we, sort of, because we're pursuing, this is what we love to do. You know what I'm saying? When you love to do something, there's other people that's passionate about it too, and if you can partner up and team up with somebody, why not? Coming to school. As far as speaking, it's just, that's something that we all have gifts. Each and every one of us has a gift. And sometimes we don't realize what our gift is, but our gift is evident to other people. You ever have somebody say, you know what, you're real good at that. And so for years, I think with both of us, people always tell me, you're a good speaker, and you should speak. But that wasn't something that I knew I could do and make, a career out of. And so that's sort of how it happened for me. Yes.
The name of my book is called From the Streets to the Stage. My guy, Ernest, who's part of my team, Mr. Adams, he has a few copies in the back, but that's how it looks. They're $100. I got that C note on it, got that fresh one, got a crispy 100 on it.
Come on, ask questions. You full information, ask questions.
No, it's on today. It's actually $14.95, but today it's only $5 for you all. And I encourage you to, if it's not this book, to buy a book, to read it, because most often we tend to spend more money on our head versus what we put in our head. So invest in your mind.
You know that.
What was the hardest thing about becoming successful? What was your biggest?
All right, I see the first. Self. Being able to master self-discipline, self-control, being able to stay focused in the midst of distractions, because they all are around you all the time. So being able to connect with people like Mack McGee, surrounding myself around people who I will hold myself accountable for, especially men. Holding yourself accountable to other men who's going to help you along the way, so when it do get rough and tough, you got some real people that can help you get back on your feet.
Yeah, I echo that. Surrounding yourself with good people. I went away to school. I had the opportunity. I'm a member of Omega Psi Phi Fraternity Incorporated. And actually, that's my frat brother, Dave Kennebrew, who's also a cameraman for ABC Channel 7.
Maceo.
Maceo, y'all principal of our frat brother. You know what I'm saying? So, surrounding ourselves with people that have like minds, people that's going to encourage us. See, you're going to have people, you will have people that will discourage you or try to encourage you to do negative stuff. And so, being around positive people that want to see you succeed. Yes.
So this is a nonprofit organization?
I mean, I don't have a nonprofit organization. You know what I'm saying? Basically, I met Keena about 3 or 4 years ago, Ms. Thomas, and she always, when there's opportunity, she'll contact me about coming up here and sharing with the students.
Okay, so can people in our age range get involved in the Toastmasters?
Absolutely.
How do you support the process?
I'll give you a card. I'm the past president of the Homewood Flossmoor Toastmaster Club. Lamont is the past president of the South Suburban Toastmasters Club. So we both got cards. I'll give you my information. You can email me, go to our websites, and we'll give you the information. Because see, understand this. The ability to communicate is very important in whatever career you want to pursue. Your ability to communicate, your ability to sell yourself. So I would encourage Toastmasters, the youth program that Toastmasters have for anybody in here. Yes, sir. Illinois State University. I was an inside linebacker.
It's not on the air right now, but it was on WJYS. I only had it 4 seasons. That was Channel 62. Right here. You talking about after the day? Yeah. We have. How many copies we got?
28 copies.
28 copies. So. Okay. Fantastic. And you'll see a couple of pictures in here with me, with Master P. I think I've got a picture here with Common, and I think Vicky Winers and a couple other people. Some people like Fantasia, she doesn't have a picture with me in here, but it's on my website. There's many different people who I've come in contact with because, you know, I was focused on accomplishing the goals that I want to accomplish for me, my family, and for my company. So people will start attracting themselves. You become like a magnet, you know, to all the resources and everything that you need to accomplish whatever goal you're trying to accomplish.
Yes, sir.
We were in Toastmasters International Speech Contest. And actually, I'm actually coaching a young man. I can't think his high school right off the top of my head right now. He goes to high school in Indiana. He's a freshman, and he's in the AXO oratory competition coming up March 20th on Saturday. So we actually coach, you know, people who want to speak as well. And train. Any other questions?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you have any women that work with you? Or you just
No, we do have women speakers. We do have women speakers. On different occasions, when we do different events, you know, they're definitely a part of that. You know, we definitely encourage sisters to get out there and you know, and get on the platform and you know, share a message because everybody has a message. You know what I'm saying? When we see stars and we hear about different TV stars and we listen to their message, a lot of times we compare ourselves to other people. But everybody, each and every one of you in here has a message. Each and every one of you in here has an experience that you overcame, a trial or a tribulation that can encourage somebody else somehow. Yes? Oh, okay. Yes?
Who won the speech tournament when y'all went against each other?
Yes.
You did.
Who won?
Everybody else think?
Oh, y'all want to answer the question? Oh, y'all OC.
Mack, you here?
No, did you win?
I think he won. I think you won. The TV show. Yeah, I think you won. Yeah. But no, because he inspirational. He sounded like he had a method behind his madness. He was aggressive. Yeah, I think he won.
I won that year. But he came back the next year and won and went further. So, yes.
You think you got motivated for speakers that come up to Perry State?
Yeah. I do an event both of us do an event every year at Prairie State. The last 2 years, he just had his event in January. I had mine back in June. My event is called a Night of Inspiration. I have a teen inspiration sensation singing competition. A young lady named Ava Davis, who graduated from Crete last year, won last year.
I'm going to go ahead and sign up for it.
Yeah, I'm gonna get the information out. Ava Davis won last year. She graduated from Crete, and then about 2 months ago, she signed with Disney, and she's down in Orlando right now singing. So it was a great platform for her. We were featured on Channel 7 with Stacey Baca. She interviewed us before the event. So, you know, it's what we're doing, and we both started from scratch. If you got something that you want to do bad enough, I tell people, you have to find something that you love so much and so passionate about that you would do it for free. But you would do it so well that people would then pay you for it. That's what you should pursue. You can't pick a career based on, I discourage you to go through a book and say, oh, well, this pay this much, this pay that much. You should pick a career based on what you're passionate about. If you're passionate about designing clothes, if you're passionate about doing hair, if you're passionate about law, if you're passionate about medicine, you need to pursue something that you're going to enjoy doing. You know what, that's a good question, and I'll let Lamont answer this too. When I first started speaking, I went to my parents, I went to my sisters, my family, I said, I want to be a motivational speaker. And they laughed, you know what I mean? But the thing was is sometimes you have to just pursue, you have to just go it alone. And once they saw that I was serious about it and was making headway, that's how I gained and garnered their support. See, at first they just thought, you know, you got a good job, just stick to your job. Why are you trying to even do that?
Echoing what Mr. McGee said, you have to just go and step out on faith and grow your wings on the way down. Anybody heard of Les Brown?
Yes. Yeah, I just heard
He gets paid. I'm Lamont Brown. I would like to have his banking account though. He gets paid, I would say, between $25,000 to $45,000 per hour to speak. Okay. Now, I'm asking you a question. When I heard him on the radio, he was being interviewed on WGCI on a Sunday morning. I'm getting dressed for church. I got dressed to drive downtown. I said, I'm going to meet him. If I'm going to be trained by somebody, I want to be trained by the best. I drove downtown, walked into the building, the WGCI building, and I said, I'm here to see Les Brown. I was suited up, have a cuff sleeves. I said, I'm Lamont Brown. He said, you related? I said, it will have to be. He called up there. He said he'd be down in a few seconds. He came off the elevator with Zelda Robinson, and I walked up to him and said, hey, Mr. Brown, how you doing? I'm Lamont Brown. Man, I heard you on the radio. I drove all the way here just to meet you. I want to be a motivational speaker. I've been speaking a little bit of different career days, and man, I want you to train. That's exactly what he told me in 10 days. The only money I had was my flight. I didn't have money for a hotel. I didn't have money to eat, but this is what I wanted to do, so I went out for it, and I went after it. I stepped out on faith, and I grew my wings on the way down. I had $22 in my pocket, and I used that money to go from the airport to the Embassy Suites Hotel. I'm a barber stylist by trade. The conference started on that Thursday. On Saturday, he walked up to me and said, didn't you say on Thursday that you was a barber stylist? I said, yes, sir. He said, man, they've been jacking me up on the road. They've been taking my beard up all the way up here. Can you keep it down here in my neckline? I said, yes, sir. He said, meet me in room 224. I started cutting his hair. A few months later, he was speaking here in Chicago and called me up to cut his hair before an event. He said, Lamont, what you speak about? I said, I speak about how to uproot the weeds of life so you can succeed in life and how to live a smooth life during rough times. He laughed. He said, you was waiting for me to say that way. I said, yes, sir. He said, I want to hear how you sound on the microphone. An hour later, I'm standing in front of hundreds of people at the Doubletree Hotel and House talking about pursuing your dream. That's what I did. You have to go after.
You gotta go out.
Can't make any excuses.
What church you go to?
Saved by Grace, Kingdom Ministry International, 146 in Green Street.
See, the thing is you got to go after it no matter what. When I first started speaking, I had the opportunity to meet Les Brown. I also met a gentleman by the name of Kevin Bracey who became my mentor. And he said, Mack, you just got to speak for free. If you're serious about this, just go out and speak for free. And so that's what I did, and that's what I continue to do. But over the last 5 years, I went from speaking for free to where I can command $5,000 for an hour. So someone could call me and say, we want you to come down and speak at the Springfield Urban League, and they have an expectation that that's what they're going to pay. Last year, you guys know Jeff Johnson on BET?
Yeah, I heard of him.
Jeff Johnson, he has a show on BET. He was scheduled to speak in Peoria last year. Counseled at the last minute, you know, because he's on BET, so a lot of times when people have a show and they're on TV, they get first dibs at speaking opportunities. He counseled at the last minute. The event planner called me. Hey, this guy's right in Chicago. So I was able to go down there, and the fee that they were going to pay him, they paid me. I didn't speak. I've been up here longer before you right now than I spent down there. They gave me 30 minutes. 30 minutes. As soon as I got done speaking, I walked off the stage, sat down. A woman came up to me and gave me an envelope and said, thank you, we're going to have you back next year. See, but I was willing to do it for free. We're here today for free. We're not asking anything of Rich Central because we just want to be able to, we just want to be able to give back and have the opportunity to share our gifts. Oh, I got paid $5,000.